And notice how the breath feels in the body this morning. So again, as you're sitting, going down into the little toe, side of the foot, as you did before in that previous position. Feeling all of that contact coming into the knees, back through the thighs, into the hip socket. And how that allows the hips to spread a little. Let the fingertips come out to the sides. Let the breastbone extend up. Feel the crown of the head lengthening up towards the heavens. Let the breath come in and out. Check in with the body. Notice, observe. How does it feel this morning? How is the breath? How is the mind? And then gently bring the hands together, rub the palms. Really get the palms nice and warm. And then bring the palm of the hand over the eyes. And then let the hands slide down in front of the face. Let the eyes open as you do that, so the light comes in gradually and the hands come together in Namaste. Bring the fingertips out to the sides, keep the space into the armpits. Walk the left fingertips away a little bit more, come up and over, bring the whole of the left hand onto the ground. Now gently rotate the right hand, if it feels okay, to ease away through the heel of the hand. So remember, as like the foot, all the fingers have that same connections back into the shoulders, the same way that the foot has the connection into the hip. Come up. Let the right hand come down onto the ground, go away through the right fingers as you come up with the left arm. Left hip's coming into the ground, bends the right elbow. Rotate the whole of the hand, go into the heel of the hand, same way that you'd go into the heel of the foot as you come up to stand. And that brings you a little bit more into the back of the body, into the back of the shoulder blade. And up you come. Take a breath in, as you breathe out round the spine. Let the chin come in towards the chest, but this time keep the hands going all the way around, so you bring them to the outer or the inner edges of the shoulder blades, like you're giving yourself a big hug. And can you then let yourself roll into a ball? It might feel a little bit claustrophobic, and if it does, back off. Then from here, go down into the feet, let the spine begin to lift up, breathe in, open out through the arms, the chest, the heart, the spine. Roll the shoulders, really find that space around the shoulder blades to get them easing. And then from here, bring the fingertips onto the ground, let the right ear come over to the right shoulder. Breathe. Up you come now, brings the left ear over to the left shoulder. And breathe. And as you're doing this, really relax here into the thighs. Can you let them soften? Let's come up again, right ear over to right shoulder. And left ear over to left shoulder. Up you come through the crown of the head. And then tuck the feet in now, because we want to be able to ideally roll over the feet to come into all fours. But if that doesn't work for us, that's okay. Bring ourselves into all fours. From here now, curl your right toe under and extend back through the right foot. So by extending back through the right foot, let the breastbone come forward, but don't push back through the knee. Yeah? Keep a little softness into the knee. Then you're going to bend the right knee in towards the chest and bring the foot forward. But the foot is going to come more forward, or you bring your left knee more back. So that back thigh isn't at a right angle. Yeah, it slopes back. And then you're going to let your torso rest onto your thigh and come forward with your breastbone. Let your breath come in, your breath go out. Now, if it feels okay for you, curl your left toes under and gently come back and extend the toes. Now, you don't have to come all the way down. You can stay quite high up if you want the space in the back left knee. Feel as though you're trying to bring the toes down towards the shin. So that's going to help open all the way up the back of the leg. Come back. Bring the hands so that they're underneath the shoulders, so they're going to be behind the foot. But as you come back, it brings you back into all fours. Go back through the left knee. And again, the heel, important when we come into lunge pose, the heel extends straight up. And then bend the knee in towards the chest and bring it forward. Forward, forward, forward with the breastbone. Let the front of the foot come onto the ground, letting the breath come in, the breath go out. Let the torso rest onto the thigh. It's very similar to what we did in the half shoelace, in that half cross-legged pose. How the thigh rested on the other thigh. Now the torso rests on this thigh and it helps to release. Curl the back toes under, gently comes back. And the movement here comes from the toes. The toes act like a breastbone to lengthen and extend the spine. The toes come down into the shin, and that movement of the toes lengthens and extends the back of the leg. Then from here, come forward. This time, keep your fingertips underneath your shoulders and step into your forward bend. As you step into your forward bend your elbows, let each hand hold the elbow, let the crown of the head release down. Relax the knees as you need to. Let the spine come up vertebra by vertebra. You're standing down into the feet, down into the heels. Coming all the way up, nice and slowly. But as you come up, the upper arms extend upwards, yeah? You're going up and up and up. And then you're going to go out and around through the arms. Bring the hands together in Namaste. So really opens the chest by coming out and around in that way. Bringing the hands together, we'll start with some salutation, Surya Namaskar. Breath comes in, the arms come up. Breathe out and release down. Bring the fingertips onto the ground. Let the hands come onto the shins to extend the spine a little bit more this morning. Keep coming down into the backs of the heels. Breathe out, let the fingertips come down. Big step back with the left foot. Left knee comes down to the ground. Breath comes in. Up you come with the arms. Bring the arms straight up. So there's the movement down into the feet and down through the tailbone. Breathe out. Bring the hands down. Steps back into downward dog pose. Relax the knees. Let one heel come up and one heel go down. So again, we want to try and get a bit more movement into the belly of the calf muscle. Bend the knees, come back into child's pose. Front of the feet comes onto the ground. Rest, rest, rest. Nostrils are coming onto the back of the rib cage. Breathing in and breathing out. Let the hands slide forward. We're going to stay with a half plank for now. Very gently over the knees, rotate the feet. Think of the line of connection from the front of the knees into the top of the pubis bone, into underneath the breastbone, into the tip of the nose. Bring the feet down, bring the hands back, let the bottom come back to the heels, go up through the knees, down through the heels to bring you into downward dog pose. Breaths coming in and out. Let the knees bend, come down into all fours, come forward now with the left foot. Breath comes in, the arms come up, there's that movement still, down and down into the feet. Breathe out, lets the arms come down. Come into forward bend, hands onto the shins, extend the spine. Where are you in your heels? Yeah, really go through the center of the heel. It's going to bring you all the way up into the heel. Release the fingertips down, breath comes in and the arms come up. Hands come together in Namaste. Take the first sun salutation really slow, really connected to the movement. Pelvis rolling over the thighs, fingertips onto the ground. Hands onto the shins, lengthens and extends. And again, that space from the top of the pubis bone into the belly button. Breathe out, release down. Can you keep that space? Big step back with the right foot. Right knee comes down, down into the feet. Breath comes in and the arms come up. Breathe out, release down. Step back into downward dog pose. Breaths coming in and out. This time, can you bring the front of the right foot onto the ground? So you extend back through the right foot. There's no weight in the foot. It's just the front of the toes on the ground. And then change. Go back through the left foot. And again, just the front of the foot onto the ground. Let the foot come back. Bend the knees, come back into child's pose. Come forward with the hands. Gently, gently over the knees. Come into that half plank pose. Rotate the feet. Yeah, don't worry about the clicks and the claps. That's bones and joints realigning. Curl the toes under as you come back into all fours and come forward now with the right foot. Breath comes in and the arms come up. Tailbone extends down. Breathe out, release down. Come into forward bend. Hands onto the shins, extends the spine. Breathe out, release back down. Breath comes in, up you come through the arms. Hands come together in Namaste. Once more, up through the arms. Breathe out, release down. Hands onto the shins, extends the spine. Breathe out, fingertips back down. Back with the left foot. Left knee comes down, round the spine. Bring the arms forward. Start going down through the tailbone, down into the front foot. Up you come. Hands come forward, step back into downward dog pose. Relax the knees and extend upwards from here. Yep, this movement into here to spread you through here. It's like having a helium balloon in that space, lifting you up. Then the knees come back into child's pose. Let the hands slide forward, round the spine into cat pose. Keep as much space as you can into the armpits as you bring the breastbone forward. Curl the toes under, come up and over the feet, keep the knees nice and relaxed, breath coming in and out. Let the knees bend into all fours, forward now with the left foot. Round the spine, release down through the tailbone, come into the back of the body, feel that breastbone's moving into the back, up you come, and out. Hands come forward, come into forward bend, hands on the shins, lengthen and extends the spine. Breathe out, release down, breath comes in. Keep the knees a little bit soft so you don't end up pushing back. And the hands come together in Namaste. Breath comes in, the arms come up. Breathe out, release down. Now can you really bend the knees to bring the front of the hand, the back of the fingers onto the ground like that. So you can open the wrist, yeah? So you're making an L shape. So bend your knees as much as you need to do that, but come forward with the hands. So if you've ever looked at a silverback gorilla when they walk, yeah, they're very like this, very forward. Now bring the hands onto the shins and extend the spine. Think about how that made the wrists feel. Fingertips come down to the ground, big step back with the right foot. Right knee comes down, round the spine, tailbone releasing down. Arms coming up, you're opening out here from the pec, extending out through the arms. Hands come forward, step back into downward dog pose. Bend the knees, come back into child's pose. Slide the hands forward, round the spine into cat pose. Bring the breastbone forward into cobra. Curl the toes under, come up and over the feet. Keep the knees nice and soft. Find that lift, that easing up underneath the hips and the pelvis. Let the knees bend. Come forward now with the right foot. Let the tail release down. Let the arms come forward. Come up through the chest, through the heart, out through the hands. Fingers forward. Into forward bend, hands onto the shins, extends the spine. As you breathe out now, come back down into your L shape. Let the wrists rest. Bend the knees as much as you need to. So you're not pushing down into the hands. There's a sense of coming up from the knuckles, coming upwards into the arms. Take a breath in, comes all the way up and brings the hands together in Namaste. Last sun salutation, up through the arms. So this time bring the fingertips together, stand down into the feet, lift from underneath the ribs, yeah? So you're not going to push from here, you're going to lift straight up. And now let the shoulder blades come back into the spine. Breath comes in, and as you breathe out, release down. Backs of the fingers onto the ground, breastbone comes forward. Hands onto the shins, extend the spine. Breathe out, release down. Big step back now with the left foot. Left knee comes down again, staying with that rounding, bringing the arms forward. Shoulder blades move away from each other, come up through the chest, up through the heart. Hands come forward if you want to, extend back and up now through the right leg. Stand away through the foot as though you're making a footprint onto the ceiling. Bring the foot down, bend the knees, come back into child's pose. Slide the hands forward, round the spine into cat pose, opens the back of the body, brings the breastbone forward. Curl the toes under, come up and over the feet into downward dog pose. Come up now with the left leg, stand away through the foot. It's going to give you a little bit more space into the hip, but don't worry if it doesn't feel like doing that this morning. Then bring the knee forward, plant the foot between the hands. Back knee comes down, rounds the spine. Your alternative, you can always come into all fours and come forward. Up through the arms, the chest, the heart. Hands come forward. Come into your forward bend. This time bring the hands forward now onto the ground so you come onto the backs of the fingers. Bring the hands onto the shins. Then release down. Let the breath come in, the arms come up. Bring the hands together above the head. Lengthen up and away through the fingers, going down through the tailbone, lifting the ribs off of the hips. And then let's the hands together in Namaste. Last time up through the arms. Breathe out, release down. Backs of the fingers onto the ground, forward through the breastbone. Hands onto the shins, extends the spine forward. Breathe out, fingertips come down. Back with the right foot. Right knee comes down, round the spine. Feel the bottom of the shoulder blades move away from each other. Up you come through the arms and out. Hands come forward. Sweep back and up with the left leg, standing into the foot. Bring the foot down to the ground, bend the knees, come back into child's pose. Slide the hands forward, round the spine into cat pose. Opens the back of the body, come forward, forward, forward with the chest and with the heart. Bring your awareness to your glutes, to your buttocks. Can you let them relax here? Sometimes we want to squeeze them to keep us in that place, but let them relax. Curl the toes under, come up and over the feet. Stand away through the right foot to give you that little bit of space into the hip joint. Bend the knee, bring the foot forward. Back knee comes down. Round the spine, go into that front heel. Up through the chest, up through the heart. Hands come forward into your forward bend. Bring the backs of your fingers onto the ground. Really let the wrists rest. Hands onto the shins, extends the spine. Breathe out, releases down. Breath comes in and up you come. Brings the hands together in Namaste. Stand for a moment. Notice how the body is. Notice how the breath is in the body. Has that movement in the sun salutation brought a sense of calmness? Because in the sun salutation, we connect into each chakra. Take a step back with the left foot, let the right knee bend. So the chakras are like energy centers in the body, and it helps to free and to open them up. Lift the back heel by standing into the ball of the foot, and then root the heel down into the ground, but feel you can lift the shin off of the ankle, yeah? So very often, you know how that back ankle can feel that it collapses a little bit. So feel you can lift the shin off of the ankle. Let the arms come down, let the breath come in and the arms come up. Breathe out and release down. So as you're coming up with the arms, think about that movement that you've just done in the sun salutation as you lifted the arms up and let the shoulder blades come back into the spine. But we didn't push into the lumbar. There was a real lift and movement from the middle and the upper spine. And now as we come up with the arms, You're going to bring the fingertips all the way down to the ground. Come forward with the breastbone. Finger pads are going to come onto the ground, and we're going to extend more and more forward. Lift the ball of the back foot and let that back foot come back a little bit more till you're comfortably in a lunge. Left hand comes onto the ground. Up you come with the right arm. See how it is. Now, if it feels uncomfortable on the shoulder, keep the hand onto the sacrum. Left heel's coming straight up because that stops the knee from twisting and rotating. Breathing in and breathing out. Brings the right hand onto the ground. Let the back knee come down. Let the front of the foot come down. Breath comes in. You're going to come straight up into your warrior one pose, into that low warrior that we've looked at. Fingertips come down to the ground. Curl the left toes under and bring the knee right in so it's in line with the heel of the right foot. But there is still space between. Can you see that? There's a space between the legs, yeah? You're going to curl the right toe under, sorry, left toes under, beg my pardon. And as you bring the heel up, bring it in. Not in a huge amount, in about 45 degrees. Bring the right hand onto the shin and open out with the left arm. So you're coming into Trikonasana, but from the ground upwards. As you breathe out, bring the hand down. As you breathe in, brings the arm up. As you breathe out, brings the arm down. And as you breathe in, bring the arm up and extend up and away through the fingers. Now spread the fingers, yeah? So you're opening the hand, yeah? Really opening the hand. Now bring the fingertips together, so you're making a little tulip bowl. Spread through the hand. Bring the fingers together in a tulip bowl. Good. Now let the hand come down, so it comes onto the right hand. Stand into the ball of the back foot. Bring the heel out. Bring the fingertips onto the ground and stand away again through the left foot. Bring the foot down to the ground. Let the breath come in and the arms come up and the hands come together in Namaste. Come back now with the right foot. So you're coming back into your warrior one. So you want, again, that lift up through the shin. So if I'm here and I'm a little bit collapsed, I'm thinking now in the back foot, I'm lifting the shin off of the ankle. And that's giving me a little bit more space. But be mindful that you don't end up locking the knee, yeah? Breath comes in, the arms come up. Breath goes out and the arms come down. The tailbone's going straight down between the feet to avoid that sort of push in the spine. Breath comes in, the arms come up. Breath goes out and the arms come down. So there's a movement here as the arms come up and the resting down. So that's what happens with the breath. The breath comes in and then the breath goes out. Breath comes in and up, and then as we breathe out, fingertips come down onto the ground and the breastbone extends forward. Lift the back heel, go back through the right foot, right hand onto the ground. There's a little softening in that back right knee, heel comes straight up, and then the left arm comes up. See how it is. Now, if this is beginning to feel tight here, you're going to come back to the left foot. Go down into the heel, maybe even lift the toes of the left foot. So you wake up the arch and then let the toes come down. And then this hip's begun to shift a little bit. That's why the feet are so important. Bring the hand down to the ground. Let the back knee come down to the ground. Breath comes in and the arms come up. Breathe out, brings the arms down. Then you're going to bring the right knee so it's in line with the back of the left heel, but there is still a hip's distance between the feet. Right toes curl under. As you come up, that right heel comes in a little bit. Left hand comes onto the shin, and then you come up with the right arm. As you breathe out, the right arm comes down. As you breathe in, the right arm comes up. Breathe out. And breathe in. Keep the arm up this time. And again, spread through the finger, really spread through the finger. And then bring the fingertips together like a tulip bulb. Spread through the fingers. Bring the fingertips together in a tulip bulb. Do it one more time. Good. And then let the hand come down. Lift up through the back heel. Bring the fingertips onto the ground and then stand away through the right foot. Brings the right foot down to the ground. Lets the breath come in and the arms come up. Hands come together in Namaste. Bend both of the knees as though you're sitting down into a chair now. Take a breath in, open out through the arms, through the chest, through the heart. And with that movement into chair pose, think about your knees. Let your knees come in line with your two middle toes. The breath comes in and the breath goes out. As you breathe out now, let that length come up from the thighs so the legs lengthen and bring the breastbone forward again. Come back now with the left foot. Bring the heel in, so you're going to come into warrior two. So the left foot's coming in at 90 degrees. And then you're going to do a back stroke with the arms, go into the front foot to bring you up. So again, we're really coming upwards from the feet today, yeah? We've had a new moon, lots of stuff going on, so we want to be really grounded in the feet, which is why we're doing a lot of coming upwards from the feet. Back arm comes onto back thigh. Today you're going to bend the right arm and let it rest onto the head and breathe in and out. And notice how this is beginning to open a little bit more. And if you're not sure what I mean, bring the arm up, breathe in and out, and then let the arm rest, yeah? It's tiny, tiny, but it's the difference between relaxing the shoulder and opening through here. As you breathe out, you've got a ready-made bend, yeah, to bring the lower arm onto the upper thigh. Come up and over. Now, coming to here, and then coming across to here starts bringing you into the hip. You can do the same here. Breathe. So if you want to dwell here for a bit longer, it's a really nice movement to do with the arms. Come up. And you're coming up by going down into the feet. Tail's going straight down. So you're looking to really help relax. You might prefer to stay there, absolutely perfect, yeah? So now you go down into your feet. Don't squeeze the buttocks, use the feet. Up you come. Now this time you're going to bring these fingertips all the way down to the inside of the foot and lengthen upwards. Breath comes in and out. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun today. Can you bring your left hand around to the root of your right thigh? Okay, so I've probably got the worst top on to do this, so the hand's going to come around there. Can you see that? Then you're going to bring, let me come around this bit, it's probably better, your right hand around like that. So the right fingers are there, you're going to bring them around like that. Then maybe you could bring the hands up and let them intertwine, yeah? So we've gone like that. See how it is, yeah? Breath comes in and out. It's a bind, yeah? It's a really strong twist. Unfurl the arms now, bring the hands back together in Namaste onto the breastbone and come up by really going down into that front foot. Go out and away once more through the fingertips. Keep the gaze across the front fingertips. So energy-wise, that bind really fires things up. Brings the hands together in Namaste. Rotate the foot. Release down, down, down. Bring the breastbone forward. So you're keeping the space through the pelvis, fingertips on the ground. Then we're going to go back to the backs of the fingertips. Breaths coming in and out. Keep going into the little toe side of the foot, back into the heel, into the inside of the foot. Now take your breath in, up you come with your arms. Bring your hands together in Namaste. Let your right heel come in, let your left heel come in. Bend the knees so the knees go out in line with the two middle toes. So coming in now to Goddess pose. Go into the little toe side of the foot. You have to really bring you back and around into here. Feel that you can extend outwards through the knees, so there's a sense of spreading out through the sacrum. Breaths coming in and out. Go out and away through the arms. Rotate the hands, bring the arms to face up. Bring them down in front of the chest in Namaste. Bring the right foot in, bring the left foot in, extend the thighs up into the hips. Take a breath in as you come up with the arms. You breathe out, let the arms come up as far as they want to behind you. Breathe in, bring the spine up and bring the hands back together in Namaste. Let the heels come in, let the balls come in, let the heels come in, let the balls come in. Think now how it feels through here, okay? From here, come around to face forward again, come up through the arms, find that little back bend that we do in sun salutation. Breathe out, bring the fingertips down to the ground. Step back now with the right foot, bringing you into your lunge pose. Lift up through the heel, just to send the spine that little bit more forward, keep going down through the left heel. Rotate the foot inwards. Come up through the arms, so you've opened out through that back arm and into that back side of the body. Back arm comes on to the thigh, let the elbow bend, let the tail release straight down to the ground. Breath comes in and out, really relax here. Think of all this tissue softening, all those intercostal muscles between the ribs, like the fibre on an accordion. You know when you squish and squash an accordion? Let the lower arm come on to the thigh and come up and over. Come over slowly. First time you do it, it might even just come to here. It's perfect, yeah? Find the connection into the back foot, into the little toe side of the foot to bring you into the hip. Maybe the arm comes over. Maybe you've gone straight to here. Into the front foot, into the back foot, brings the spine up. Up you come, tail going straight down to the ground and releasing. Length all the way up into here. Go into the left little toe, especially if you're finding on that outer left hip, there's a little bit of a fight going on. I want to release, I don't want to release. I want to release, I don't want to release. And then let's the lower arm come on to the upper thigh, come up and over again. Can you go into the big toe joint of the left foot now, into the little toe joint of the right foot? So you're getting that movement coming up through the inner thigh. Come up again, last time for coming up. So really in the feet now. And then as you come down, let the fingertips come to the inside of the foot and lengthens up and away through the right arm. But you still have this feeling of the upper arm into the shoulder joint. Yeah, you're not going to push back to over lengthen the pec. If it feels good to, bring the right hand onto the sacrum. And then can you let, if you want to go for the bind, you're letting that right hand come around. Left hand has been on the inside of the left foot. It now goes behind the heel and around to the little toe side. And then let the left hand come up and maybe the hands intertwine. Now, if that feels a bit much, give it a miss, yeah? Unfurl the arms, bring the hands together in Namaste, stand down into the foot, into the heel, into the little toe, go out and away through the arms, bring the gaze across the fingertips. You should feel that sense of really coming up here into the hip joints, so the pelvis feels very supported but light. Bring the hands together in Namaste, rotate that front foot forward and let the pelvis hinge over the thighs. Bring the fingertips onto the ground, bring the backs of the things onto the ground and extend forward through the breastbone. Keep coming back to the feet. Little toe side, big toe side, inner heel, outer heel. Letting the breath come in and out. Noticing how the breath is now. And then from here, coming forward with the chest and with the heart. Take a breath in, relax the knees, up you come with the arms. Bring the arms out, 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 out. And in the same way we did all that work with the tulip fingers in the open palm, lengthen away and out through the palms. Relax the kneecaps. Bring the hands together in Namaste. Let the right heel come in. Let the left heel come in. You're coming back into your goddess pose. Spread through the foot in the same way that you would do in any other pose. It's very easy to want to come in and do that, but let the little toe connect into the ground. Let the heel connect into the ground. Let the inside of the big toe connect into the ground. Breathe. So the base feels like it's really going down. Go out and away through the arms. Breathe. Rotate the hands, bring the arms up above the head, bring the hands together in Namaste. Draw the thighs up and up and up into the hips. Bring the feet in so that the feet face straight forward. Come up through the arms. As you breathe out, pelvis still rotates over the thighs. Lets the arms come up, lets the breath come in, and then the spine comes up again. Brings the hands together in Namaste. The heels come in, the balls come in, the heels come in, the balls come in. But there is still this sense of space across the hips and the pelvis. How is it for you now to bend the knees to come straight down into your squat pose? Breath comes in and out. And just being in the squat pose as it is, can you find, with all the work and the connection that we've got into the feet now, can you find that spread through the ball of the foot so you feel nicely balanced here and the tail can release down to the ground. From here now, come down onto the knees, bring the fingertips onto the ground and come back through the legs. Yeah, come back a little bit. So you do a little backwards crawl. So I'm going to turn around so you can see a little bit more better. Come out with the left foot. So you bring the whole of the left foot on the ground, but the left toes are in line with the knee, so there's no shearing going on through the hip. And you can also, if you can, connect down into the little toe side of the left foot. Bring the hands around to the right and lengthen and extend up through the left arm. Now, in the same way that you use the feet to come up into that flowing warrior two, you're going to do that now to come straight up with the arm. Tail, really let the tail drop down. Yeah, and come up. So you see, really relaxed in the tail helps to lift the breastbone. Now bring the fingertips down to the ground. See how it is to stand away through the foot. This can create cramp because remember where we said, I think in one of the previous poses, there's a little bit of, oh, can the thigh let go? Can the thigh not let go? And you get a bit of that going on in this posture. Brings the foot down to the ground, lets the left hand come onto the shin, lengthen up and away through the right fingertips. Go back into the left little toe, especially if you're getting that, whoo, as a releasing going on. Left hand goes down the leg so that this all opens outwards. Yeah, so you're coming into gate pose. Tailbone is still going down. The glutes are relaxed. The pelvis is relaxed. There's no and gripping and tightening. Now let the right hand come down and bring it in front of the right leg. Let the left hand come down. You're going to bring the left leg behind you now. Bring the right lower leg out a little bit so it acts like a stabilizer. So you're coming to this, and then you're going to bring the inside of the foot down and come up this way. So it looks the same, but it's a different rotation through the hip. Stand away through the foot. Now you'll notice it feel a little bit different. If you want to, bend the knee, take hold of the foot, but make sure you're extending away through the knee to lengthen the thigh and to keep the space in the hip, rather than kind of bending and pushing through the spine. Yeah. Let the foot come down, up you come with the arm, brings the hand down, and you come back to here. Curl the back toes under, little softness into the knee, come up and away through the right leg. Now bend the right knee and bring the knee between the hands and come back into pigeon. Come down to rest, whether you just come down onto your lower arms. If you rest all the way down, you're going to have the weight on the weight of the torso on the thigh, which is going to be more releasing, very much like what we did right at the start in dragon pose, which felt like that low warrior pose. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, come up with the spine, and then come straight back into child's pose. Breath comes in and out. Relax the elbows in child's. Breathing in, breathing out. Up you come into all fours. Go back through the right foot and then bring it around. And the right toe, again, is in line with the left knee and go into the little toe side of the left foot. Now, my hip is feeling really tight and you might feel there's a little bit of that kind of movement going on, a little bit sort of spasmy into the muscle. And that's okay. It's the sense of trying to release. Left hand comes around, come up. Now you start coming up like that, this all opens, yeah, and it eases off. Go into that right foot. Imagine little suckers on the bottom of the foot, grasping the ground, bringing you up. Now let the left arm come straight up and relax the tailbone. Relax the glutes, relax the sacrum. Up and up you can come through the side of the body. Breathe out, lets the arm come down. Maybe the right leg comes up. It doesn't have to. See how it feels. Brings the foot down to the ground. Up you come. Up and up, keep letting the tailbone go down, slide the hand down. All of this opens through here, breaths coming in and out. And then let the hand come down, let the fingertips come forward, let the spine come forward with that. So again, you're keeping the hip open. Back you come with the right foot, extending it straight back, left lower leg comes out. Just a little bit, that's your stabilizer on your bike. Inside of the right foot comes down, up you come. Stands away through the foot, so you've got a different rotation through the hips. Bend the knee, take hold of the foot if you want to, and extend away through the knee to keep the hip open. Make sure you're not pushing in the spine, you're not doing that sort of movement, yeah? We want to extend and open here. Let the front of the foot rest into the hand. Release the foot. Bring the hand down to the ground. Come back to the center. Curl the back toe under. Relax the knee of that right foot. Curl and then come back and up into downward dog. Brings that left knee forward. Let the front of the right leg rest and come down into your pigeon pose. Breath comes in and out. As you're breathing in and out, bring the awareness to the thighs and let the thighs relax. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, up you come through the chest and through the heart. Come back and back and back into child's pose. In child's pose, walk both hands over to the left, bring the right hand on top of the left, and rest the hip, that right hip back towards the heel. Bring the hands over to the right. Let the left hand rest on top of the right. Ease the hips back into the heel. Comes back to the center. Let the hands slide forward, round the spine into cat pose. Come forward again, bringing the breastbone into cobra. Can you keep that restedness into the hips? Breath comes in and out. Maybe we can relax the elbows a little more to bring the shoulder blades back into the spine and extend forward with the breastbone. Come back into child's pose, drawing the tailbone back towards the heels to really lengthen the lumbar now. Up you come to kneel. Bring the legs over to the left, the bottom over to the right, and let the legs come forward now. Have a little walk on the bottom so you come into the sitting bones, into the base. And then I'm going to come around to face forward. As the legs are here, bring the legs out. So you're going to come to sit into your wide-legged bend. And again, keep that movement of going back into each hip. And in the same way that you'd roll the shoulder blade into the spine and move the upper arm, feel that you can do that with the legs. So you can go into the right leg and roll back, and then into the and roll back. Yeah, so all the time, the base is gently moving back and back so that you can come up to sit and be really sitting on your base. You should feel like you're sitting on the backs of your thighs, because then all of this here can relax. The backs of the heels come onto the ground. Bring the fingertips out to the sides. If you're sitting here and it feels really uncomfortable and you haven't found that space, then perhaps bring yourself into more of a bent knee. And if you're at home, you've got anything to hand, stick a blanket, or you might have blocks and yoga blocks, but stick a blanket or a cushion underneath the knees, so then you can relax the thighs. But if you found that space, keep coming back into the hips, feeling that there's that rotation, and you can come to sit. Fingertips come out to the sides. We're going to come up and over with the right arm, softening into the left arm, just as we did at the start. Coming up and over. Right hand comes onto the ground, left arm comes up. Now, as you come back with this left arm, when you get to here, you're going to gently rotate the spine so your right hand comes in line with your right leg, and then you're going to bring the right arm up, and the left hand is like an extension, yeah, from the back of the leg. It's in line with that trajection of the right hip. Then the right hand comes down, and we can lengthen up and up and up and up. But you're feeling as though you're coming up from the elbow, because there's a softness in the arm. Maybe the arm can come all the way over, and you can begin to rotate the spine over the leg, and then comes around. Brings the right hand over, comes all the way up, nice and softly, and then brings the right hand down, so it's in line, if that left leg extended back behind you, and come up with the left arm. And then we'll do that going the other way. As you come forward, think about the space here in this hip. The right arm comes up, comes over nice and gently. Brings the hand down, the spine revolves around, and the hand comes to here. Keep the hands here, lengthen and extend up through the breastbone. Draw the shoulder blades back into the spine. Bend the knees if you need to. Let the breath come in and the breath go out. Let the hands come onto the shins. Bring the soles of the feet together now in Baddha Konasana. Bring the hands onto the shins. Let them come up a little bit higher if they need to, and lengthen and extend up through the breastbone. So the spine fully supported by the base. You find this length and space, like you could go off on your Harley Davidson into the sunset. And then let the legs extend away, bring the fingertips out to the sides. Have that little walk onto the bottom. And let the spine come all the way down to the ground. And as the spine comes down, let the legs come up. Now, if, as the legs come up, you've got that little movement that the pelvis freely lifts off of the ground, and I do mean freely, let that happen a couple of times. And if it feels okay to, and this doesn't feel like you're trying to do a reverse abdominal curl, go away through the feet, down into the arms, and stand up into the feet. And then let yourself come down. Brings the feet onto the ground. Maybe after all the hip work, it might feel nice to have the feet, the soles of the feet together, to come in to Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. And bring the arms out to the sides. Now, because you've come into that pose, doesn't mean that you have to stay in it for the whole of your Shavasana. You might just want to stay in it for a moment or two to find that comfort, find that spread out through the sacrum. So stay in that movement as long as it feels comfortable for you. Some people it's 30 seconds, some people it's 30 minutes. So, you know, as it is comfortable for you. Let your breath come in and out. Think of the space between the ribs. We've talked about the intercostal muscles, the muscles that are between the ribs. When we breathe, these muscles extend. And if they get tight, they won't want to move. So as you breathe in and out, feel that as the breath comes in, it brings a warmth and a nourishment into those intercostal muscles, into the ribs. You're breathing in and it's moving out, but there's a nice warming breath coming in. And as you breathe out, everything gathers inwards. And the breath leaves the body. You breathe in and there's the movement outwards. You breathe out and there's a movement inwards of the ribs. In the same way that we go down into the feet to lift the spine, the ribs move out when we breathe in, and they move in when we breathe out. So simply noticing and observing the breath. With that movement of the rib cage, there is a lift of the breastbone and a movement of the breastbone. So as we breathe in, we lift the heart. As we breathe out, we let the heart rest back. We breathe in, we lift the heart. We breathe out, we let the heart rest back. We breathe in, we open. We breathe out, we rest. We breathe in, we bring newness to the body. We breathe out, we release the old stuff. We breathe in, we bring a new energy into the body. We breathe out, we release what no longer serves us. We breathe in, new energy into the body. Breathe out, releasing what no longer serves us. Breathe in, bringing in a new energy. Breathing out, releasing what no longer serves us. Stay with that thought. And from here now, gently wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes to bring awareness back into the body and into the space around you. Maybe let the arms come over the head, lengthen away through the legs, so you find space in every joint. And then when you're ready to roll over onto your right side, bring your left hand down in front of your chest and lengthen away through your left leg. Bring yourself up to sit in your own time. You might even feel, you know what, I'm happy. I want to stay here for a bit longer. Stay there for a bit longer. Bringing yourself up to sit. Bringing your hands together in Namaste, letting your thumbs rest onto your chest and onto your heart. Thanking your body for its practice today. Sending love and blessings out into the world. Whatever you're up to this weekend, I hope you have a lovely one. Lots of love and Namaste. Lovely.